This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at Ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. Ease knows that sometimes it's hard to get to your local legal marijuana dispensary. That's why they put so much time and effort into building out their delivery platform so that everything just runs smoothly and easily every time you place your order through Ease.com. Slide into the summer season by opening up Ease.com and checking out all the different state legal cannabis products up for offer. With orders taking less than an hour to be fulfilled, you're just a couple of episodes of The Office away from taking delivery. From flowers to edibles and from topicals to tinctures, Ease has you covered. Open up Ease.com, spelled E-A-Z-E, to get your order started, assuming of course that you live where Ease is active and it's during legal delivery hours, because following all relevant rules and regulations for California cannabis is just how Ease rolls. One more time, just open up Ease.com. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Thursday, July 19th, 2018, and you're tuned in to episode 531 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. We start the day off down in Oklahoma, where a lot of really interesting things have happened in the world of legal marijuana over the last week or so. This is a storyline I've covered here before, with our most recent dispatch catching up on the news that the Oklahoma Department of Health had enacted a set of emergency rules that bans patients from buying smokable cannabis from state licensed dispensaries, while also requiring those dispensaries to have a staff pharmacist on hand 40 hours a week. Since that headline, we've seen a 180-degree flip in the state, as yesterday, Oklahoma Attorney General Mike Hunter announced that his office was recommending that those two rule changes be thrown out, as it was his opinion that the Department of Health overstepped its bounds. Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallin followed that statement up with her own just a few hours later, largely echoing her Attorney General. And the crazy thing is that's not all the twists on this one, as news also broke that a lawyer for the Department of Health involved in those rule changes was being charged with 2 felony counts tied to an incident in which she sent herself threatening emails and then lied about where they came from after reporting them. This is a perfect one to dive into, if only to catch up on all the details. Swing over to marijuana.com for the full read. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Leafly's David Downs has a good story up looking at how things are going in California for the state's legal marijuana testing labs, which have been flooded with new business since the turn of July as new, more stringent rules and regulations go into effect. California is the largest marijuana market in the U.S. and is worth closely tracking no matter where you do business, as there are a lot of lessons that can be applied in other states. Testing is no exception to that. I think David's article, which I would also suggest you open up and read, is nicely summarized by a question he asked lab testing expert John Oram. David asked, quote, "Can labs meet California demand or will it blow them up?" Unquote. To which Mr. Oram answered, quote, "The answer is yes to both those questions. The labs are going to be slammed." Kyle Yeager over at Marijuana Moments picked up on a drug-related question answered yesterday by Dictator Trump's press secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who was asked during a press briefing about the White House response to news out of Mexico that the government is considering a plan to legalize all drugs in their fight against illegal drug cartels and the violence that accompanies that business. Huckabee Sanders said, quote, "I don't have a specific policy announcement on that front. However, I can say that we will not support the legalization of all drugs anywhere and certainly wouldn't want to do anything that would allow more drugs to come into this country." Unquote. Given that Huckabee Sanders is an inveterate liar with zero credibility on anything that tumbles out of her mouth, you can take that answer for all it's worth. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. Ease.com makes it so simple to get all of the state legal marijuana products that you need, and they'll bring it right to you. Ease partners up with only the top dispensaries in their active areas, so you know you're in for a stellar consumer experience with quality products at top prices galore. You won't know what to do with your hands, you'll be so excited. There's just something exciting about someone driving up to your door and delivering legal, properly packaged, labeled, and tested cannabis products. What a world we live in. Find out just how easy California legal cannabis can be by opening up eaze.com, spelled E-A-Z-E, and get your order for delivery in. That's eaze.com. Big thanks to everyone over at Eaze for the support that makes today's show possible. All right, time for the Blitz. Canadian medical marijuana company Tilray just announced details for their upcoming public offering on the U.S. NASDAQ market. The company will sell a total of 9 million shares of stock, with most to be offered up to U.S. investors at $17 a share, with some to be held in reserve for Canadian investors. Tilray's U.S. stock will be sold on the NASDAQ market under the stock symbol TLRY starting today, and they anticipate that they will raise in all more than $150 million. Pop over to New Cannabis Ventures for all the numbers on this one. Florida's Department of Health will request just over $13 million in additional funding today to better fund their Office of Medical Marijuana Use as it works to process applications for legal marijuana businesses as well as prospective registered patients. The funding shortfall came about due to some wonky state rules related to patient numbers and cultivation licenses. Not a bad story to read if you're in the Florida game. The ACLU has filed a lawsuit on behalf of a Washington, D.C. man who was the subject of a grossly aggressive pat-down by a D.C. cop who allegedly jammed his fingers up his butt while searching for drugs. 39-year-old M.B. Cottingham was hanging out with his friends last September when police officers rolled up in cars and started asking questions. A video of the incident shows Mr. Cottingham being accosted by Officer Sean Lojacona, who seems to jam his fingers in places he really shouldn't be for no good reason. This is popping up in today's headlines because Mr. Cottingham was found to have a small amount of marijuana on him, which is perfectly legal in DC, right before being digitally probed by Officer Lojacona. Just a good reminder of the mountain of social justice work that still needs to be done, even after cannabis is legalized. Marijuana Business Daily is a good story up about a cannabis company in Ohio that recently announced 2 large deals in the industry that total just under $75 million. Columbus-based Green Growth Brands will spend $57 million to buy a Nevada marijuana company and $16 million to purchase a Canadian firm through which it will then roll out a public stock offering. Given the size of the deals, this isn't a bad company to at least have on your radar. Canadian marijuana company the Cronos Group just released details for a planned 850,000 square foot cultivation facility it intends to start construction on later this summer. When complete, the company says their new facility, to be located in Ontario, will be capable of churning out more than 150,000 pounds of flower per year. The project will be a joint development alongside a group of investors led by greenhouse expert Bert Mucci. Leafly has a good longer form piece up looking at the life of Marciela Retana, a classically trained dessert chef who now spends her days crafting quality cannabis edibles for Nevada-based company The Apothecary Shop. Lots of good background and perspective on the edibles industry in this one. I'd give it a read. And finally for today, Cannabis Now is reporting that the California Department of Public Health issued a little-noticed memo earlier this month that seems to ban hemp-derived CBD oil. The memo says that hemp does not fall under the control of the state's cannabis system, and as a result, any CBD oil pressed from industrial hemp is not allowed to be sold. This is the first news I've seen of this pop up, so it'll be interesting to note how the industry reacts. Open up Cannabis Now for more on this one. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. What kind of television do you find in a haunted house? A big screen TV. Thanks to our sponsor Eaze and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with Marijuana Today. Today.
One take, Shay. One take.